I'm Steve Peters with PHNX. We're at 18 degrees inside the ice stand Scottsdale. The Arizona Coyotes host the Minnesota Wild for their first game after the All-Star break. We thought that would be the perfect time to get Coyote forwards and Minnesota natives sit down for a special edition of Walkin and Talkin. Today, we're sitting and chatting and talking all things Minnesota. I want to welcome Nick Bjugstad and Travis Boyd to the show. See how exciting that was? I did it right the very first time.
That was good. You nailed
Not
that.
bad? Nailed it. Well, first, before we get started, guys, just want to see what you got to do during the break. And this team needed a break after that stretch of games right before the break. So what did you do during the All-Star break?
Me and my family went down to Cabo for a few days and enjoyed it. Sat by the beach and in the pools and just got away from it. And yeah, it was a good time.
That's exactly what I did. With, two little girls, though, my 3-year-old and 2-year-old, so we're chasing them around the pool and going to bed at 8:30 every night. So.
But you talk about being from Minnesota. Like, if you're coming from Minnesota for the All-Star break, yeah, Cabo's money, but you're like, here, it was 75. It was perfect.
Yeah.
No beaches. Well, let's get into the Minnesota stuff and see how well. First thing we have to talk about, we're going to talk about geography. First, to prove to everybody watching that you guys are actually from the great state of Minnesota, Travis, what city are you from and what high school did you attend?
I am from Hopkins, Minnesota, and attended Hopkins High School.
See, that was easy.
Cake eater.
Boogie,
That's
how about you?
Hopkins, he's on the side where it's
around.
I'm
in
from the north side, Blaine.
The north side of Blaine.
There, yeah.
Okay, so you went to high school in Blaine too. So we've officially determined you are from Minnesota, so we can continue. Now, we're not keeping score, and you guys can team up if you don't know things, but we are going to ask some easy, some hard questions about the great state of Minnesota. I might throw in a few facts along the way, and we're going to start with geography. You guys better get this one, okay? You have a big game this weekend, and you were playing the Cake Eaters. Which Minneapolis suburb are you in?
Well, Buggy just called me one.
Yeah, but you're not.
I'm from Hopkins, which is
But it's not.
It's not. That's Edina.
We know it's Edina, but I lump all those cities over close to Edina. They're all pretty.
They're pretty close?
Yeah.
But see, now the case, and for extra bonus points, what is the name of the arena that hosts the Beauty League located in Edina?
Well, that's not very hard.
Not hard?
Braemar.
We're both playing that.
Right at
So.
69. Look at that. The cake eater, famous cake eater on the screen there of Banks from the Mighty Ducks. He was a cake eater. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, Banks.
So we're going to stick with geography. Another super easy one. Brothers William and Charles Mayo founded the world famous Mayo Clinic in which southern Minnesota city?
I've had a couple back surgeries down there.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, Rochester.
Rochester. That's easy. They named a high school after him, and that was actually founded in 1889, and it was called St. Mary's Hospital.
Fun fact, I learned there's a tie between those guys and Arizona, too.
There is. They actually used to do their summer homes here in Tucson,
Yep.
Arizona, and that's why we have 2 branches of the Mayo Clinic here in Arizona. There's also one in Florida for those keeping track at home. But it all started
Shout out Mayo Clinic.
in Rochester. Yeah, shout out the Mayo Clinics. More geography. Detroit claims to be Hockey Town, USA. Which northern Minnesota town is the original and, in my opinion, the only Hockey Town, USA?
Well,
I got it.
yeah,
You got it?
I think I know, but I wanna see if you know.
It's War Road, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But the Hall of Fame, U.S. Hockey Hall of
it's
Fame.
in Evelyn.
No, that's an Evelyn.
It's in Evelyn, but it's home of T.J. Oshie,
Yeah, okay.
NHL player,
Yeah.
Olympian Gigi Marvin, and the world famous Izzy's Lounge and Grill. Shout out to Izzy if you're watching, 'cause I'm sure he's watching the World. And by the way,
No love for
You
Brock
played it
Nelson.
Yeah.
Brock Nelson again,
yeah.
All-Star Brock Nelson
Yeah.
from World. You've been up there,
I have never been to War Road.
buddy?
I've been. Hold on, the Christian Bros.
Yeah, Christian Brothers
Yeah.
there, Marvin Windows. A lot going on up in World. We're going to stay with geography for one more. Several cities claim to be the home of Paul Bunyan. Which northern Minnesota town is the true home of the legendary lumberjack?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this one.
Oh, Brainerd.
Buddy, what do you got? Is it Brainerd? Okay.
That's where the lumberjack
hard
is,
no.
right?
Hard no. Bemidji, Minnesota.
odd.
Brainerd, your lumberjack might talk, but it's Bemidji, the
All
first
right.
city on the Mississippi River.
Yeah, wow.
My hometown.
All
Bemidji,
right, yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
So we have the big debate between Brainerd and Bemidji. So I guess you'll still get points, but the answer was Bemidji. So let's go to sports, because you guys kind of know about your Minnesota sports. There are 6 NCAA Division I hockey teams in the state of Minnesota. You guys played for the Golden Gophers at the University of Minnesota. There are now 6 Division I hockey teams. Can you name all 6 of them?
You want to go first, 3?
Yeah. Well, Minnesota, obviously.
Yep.
St. Cloud, Duluth.
There's 3.
You got newly added St. Thomas.
Wow. See, that was the one I didn't
that was
know
a
if you'd
tricky
get.
one.
That was a
Yeah,
tricky
tricky
one.
one.
You got Bemidji. You didn't say Bemidji?
Nope.
One more.
St. Cloud, Duluth. What else
South.
did you say?
South. Think South.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mankato.
Yeah.
Mankato. There are all 6. And by the way, we should talk to Gary Bettman about this because it's similar to having the Coyotes play in the Central. 6 teams, 3 divisions, and 1 independent, all in the same state of Minnesota. Let's stay with sports. This iconic Minnesota Twins secondary logo, what are the names of the 2 ball players that are shaking hands?
You gotta know.
Yeah.
Do you know this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Is Minnie and Paul?
Yeah, it's as simple as Minnie and Paul.
I didn't know that one actually.
Really? And while we're staying on Minnesota Twins, bonus question, who is your favorite Minnesota Twin of all time?
That's a good one.
Kent Herbeck.
Okay. I mean, I'm
Kirby Puckett.
Well, yeah, but he was before my time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a big tough not to love Joe Mauer.
Oh, Joe Mauer, great answer.
That's a good
Brad
one.
Racky back in the day.
Yeah.
Justin Morneau.
Butch Weiniger, I always like that. Good name, good catcher.
yeah.
But you're wrong. The answer was Rod Carew.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, he's a legend.
See what we did there?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, we're going to go back to sports. Again, we're talking about the Twins in their original home, Metropolitan Stadium, also the home of the Minnesota Vikings at the time. What is it now? What building is located on the site of the original Metropolitan Stadium?
I have an idea, but
You guys are both too young for this, but I actually went and saw the Minnesota Twins in that. I saw Rod Carew play at Metropolitan Stadium
because I think they
before your time.
Is it the same site as where the Metrodome was?
It is not.
no.
I'll give you a hint.
leaning
It's
towards,
in Bloomington.
I was leaning towards Mall of America.
There's a place for fun in your life, Mall
Nice.
of America, which was
think they still have
opened
like a-
in 1992.
I think they still have like a seat of the stadium in there
They
somewhere.
do.
I think I've seen that.
They have the
yeah.
seat up on the wall where Harmon Killebrew hit the longest home run, and home plate is in the middle of Nickelodeon Universe
There it
inside
is.
the theme park, inside the Mall of America. We're going to stay with sports and buildings. The Met Center, home of the Minnesota North Stars. Iconic green, white, and yellow seats. I know you guys didn't get to see a game there. That's too bad. I actually got to skate there once, but it was for senior men's. It was midnight. We had always.
Nice.
What is on the site? Again, it's in Bloomington.
Yeah, I don't have,
No.
I don't have this one.
I'll skip to it.
I don't know. IKEA.
It's the IKEA, and
perfect.
in the same theme of the Twins, all-time favorite Minnesota North Star. Again, before your time, but you have a favorite North Star. Are you guys allowed to have a favorite North Star?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go. My uncle Scott played for him, so I'm going Scott
that's an
Bjugstad.
easy-
That was a correct answer.
I actually,
There you go.
I got to play golf this summer with Neil Broughton. He played,
Oh,
he played
yeah.
for him.
He's
So
on the
I'll
list.
Say,
Yep.
say Neil Broughton. on that one.
We will
Madonna,
accept both of
maybe?
those. Madonna, we'll
Yeah.
accept Lou Nanny.
Oh, no.
We
Dino
also accepted
Cicerelli.
Caesar Maniago.
Dino Cicerelli.
Okay, the next, how to talk Minnesota. Neither one of you, Boogie maybe a little bit, got that accent. Can you use any of these phrases, you betcha, don't you know, or ofer, in a sentence? Any one of these. Travis, would you like to take a stab at using any one of these in a sentence?
Hey, you betcha I can use this in a sentence.
See what he did there?
Nice,
That counts.
That was good.
That counts. Boogie, can you take one of the other two?
Don't you know Petey loves Minnesota?
I do. Oh, for cute. See, that's oh for cute. That's another one.
Yeah.
Now we're going to show this picture on the screen for people at home. What are these kids playing? Duck, duck.
Yeah, this is hilarious because my wife, I was playing this today with my kids.
You're kidding.
And
Do you play the Minnesota version?
Yeah, she was giving me grief because she's Wisconsin. She's from Wisconsin. And I call it Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
Yeah.
And apparently we're the only ones.
Yeah.
Duck, duck, gray duck. It is absolutely a Minnesota thing.
Yeah.
And it comes from the Swedish game Anka, Anka, Gra, Anka.
That was
case you were
beautiful,
wondering.
Beautiful.
Duck, duck, gray duck. What is the definition of the term ufda?
It's just like,
That's like, oofta, that's not good.
Yeah, that's like, can you use it in a sentence?
No, it's more just like you have a bad shift, you come off, you go, oof.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, oof, I had to shovel 2 feet of it to snow, don't you know? Now this one, there's a debate on how you spell this next one or how you, where it actually was founded. But what is a Juicy Lucy?
That's a hamburger with cheese in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know it was founded in Minnesota?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
Juicy Lucy. It's a hamburger stuffed with cheese and made with the cheese on the inside. And there are 2 southern Minneapolis clubs that claim to have started it. The 5-8 Club and Matt's Bar.
Yeah.
This one, Boogie, you talked about it on the Thanksgiving show. What is a hot dish?
No, well, it's just a bunch of like, I don't know, meat. My favorite is the tater tot hot dish. My mom made that growing up, so that's, I think we talked about it. That's my favorite.
Do you have that too, the tater tot one?
Yeah.
See, but people don't call that hot dish. It's casserole.
I was gonna say, I think the definition would be it's a way to say casserole.
Yeah, but it is. But that's totally, there it is right there. That's it. You
That's
can dump any vegetables.
right
that's
there.
it.
Yeah,
Is there
that's
any
why- that's why
vegetables
it's
you
the
want
best.
in it?
I brought it to a Team Thanksgiving when I played for Florida, and it got to the end of the table, and Scotty Upshall is looking at it and goes, "Who the hell brought the tater tots?" My rookie year.
See, it's hot dish. There you go. Treat them with a little bit of hot dish. What is LUTEFISK? What is LUTEFISK?
You know this one?
It's a fish.
It's like pickled fish.
It's pickled. It is absolutely a Scandinavian pickled in lye. It is absolutely, and I'm sorry to the Scandinavian listeners, and of them there are many. It is horrifically awful smell. It smells up the whole house in northern Minnesota. Minnesota term. Now these next couple might be a little tougher. The Minnesota term. What are choppers? You got it?
I can picture Boyd. I think Boyder still wears them.
Do
when
you?
we go to Minnesota.
Buddy.
I wish. Actually, to be honest, I think there is a pair in my truck that have just been in there since.
There are days you could wear choppers here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean.
No, not many. Okay, I've lived here 25
When
years.
you're from Minnesota, you get a little soft being down here.
So what are choppers?
They're gloves with no fingers.
They're leather mittens with a thick lining, and every kid in Minnesota has a pair of choppers. You have to have them. They're unbelievable.
To be honest, that's what. Well, you go play on the pond in the winter, you'd wear those.
Play that instead.
You're not putting your hands in hockey gloves out there, they get cold. So.
Did you ever play outside?
Oh yeah, that's how you start. And everyone, I mean, that's the most fun hockey you'll ever play.
Yeah.
I played at a place called Happy Acres, and you'd go till your toes were frozen.
Yeah.
See, I don't think kids today, the bougie hockey kids here, and we love the ice den, by the way, but these kids, can you imagine if you told them you had to go outside and play until your toes were cold? I remember crying at the heater.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's how you learn to play.
Yeah, for sure. My dad used to run my feet under cold water because it would, once they were frozen, that actually did the reverse effect and warmed my feet up. So I still remember that, bawling my eyes out.
100%.
I do miss that.
There was a rink in my backyard. My dad would make one every year for us.
Seriously?
I remember coming in crying all the time because I couldn't feel my toes. They would hurt so bad, and eventually it'd go away. But you just got to.
But that's what hockey's all about. That's fantastic, and that's part of the things that we got as Minnesotans. What is bumper bucking or skitching? Now, you guys we call you both city kids. I'm a northern Minnesota kid, so we actually did this. Do you have any idea what that is?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
Not because of
I don't know
Minnesota, though. I remember a Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you could skitch. You'd hold on to the back.
That is exactly it.
On the back of the truck.
But in Bemidji, we do this on the streets. You'd get in the back of a pickup with your Sorel boots and your choppers, and you'd. Can you imagine if my kid did that today? By the way, Jackson, don't take any lessons because there's no way you could get away with doing that right now. There's just no chance. Everybody in Minnesota goes to the lake, and as we talked about, the land of 10,000 lakes. By the way, there's 11,842 lakes for those keeping score at home. When you go to the lake, what lake do you go to?
My lake would be Echo Lake. I grew up on a cabin. It's actually in Wisconsin, but borders. But you
got a lake. You got to have a lake.
Everyone's got to go to the lake. You go into your cabin. Yep.
Yeah, my family's got a cabin it's called Star Lake. And then I also sometimes now go, my fiance's family's got a place on Gull Lake. So actually it's on one of the chains of Gull Lake. It's Upper Gull. So it takes.
That's fun. It's getting you out of the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Traffic.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because Bjugstad and I had just a week or two ago, we're talking with someone in our team area. And we talked about how only in Minnesota do you call it a cabin. Everywhere else is called a cottage.
Canadians.
So that's
Canadians cottage. We talk about. We have that debate all the time. Now,
Yeah.
have you ever gone? And I know you can't hear because you're playing now. Have you ever gone to those places in the winter and Have you ever ice fished before?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I used to, well, it was rare, but like there was a few hockey tournaments I did when I was younger that were close enough to my cabin where we would actually stay there in the winter.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then we'd drive in instead of staying at a hotel.
And you'd ice fish?
Yeah, I didn't do a ton of that just because of our hockey schedule, but like my brother goes multiple times a winter. My dad goes up and ice fishes all the time. And
I've done it. No. Hard pass. Although in my hometown they put up the little lodges, and it's like they did trailer homes and put satellite TVs and stuff in it.
Well, I was gonna say like you can get an ice house that's
money.
Like you spend all day in there. You don't really even care if you catch fish.
Yeah. So it's just an excuse to get away and drink beer.
Yeah.
We're talking about Minnesota and fishing, ice fishing. Have you ever driven on a lake? Have you ever driven a car or a truck on a lake?
Yeah. So I played in Minnesota last 2 years, obviously, and we live on a little lake, and a guy cuts a hole into the lake. So we drive out. I have a sauna. We drive out in our truck, and cold tub in the lake. And you have to put a big fence around
Seriously?
it. Yeah, oh yeah. It's,
in the lake.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But you get good at it. It's a really good mental grind. You get through it, and then you're ditching right to the sauna. So we're driving on the lake for that.
That is, that's a real Minnesotan that's diving into the lake. We all talk about Minnesota a lot. We love it here. We love the sun. We love the mountains. What do you miss most about Minnesota?
I don't know. That's tough. I mean, honestly, like for me, I guess I'd just say like that's home. It's always been home. So like whenever I'm there, I feel at home, and I guess just that feeling and knowing everything, knowing where to go, knowing that your family's there. Like it's just home. I always will be.
For me, it's probably the people. People are great down here in AZ too, but I don't know. It's just we're called Minnesota nice. I don't know if it's we're passive aggressive a little bit. So sometimes we're not transparent. Maybe that's it. But just how nice the people are, and you go anywhere you go, you're shooting the breeze with someone. So it's a great state of people.
Well, Travis, thank you. Nick, thank you. Thanks for watching. You can watch this show live after every Coyotes game on the PHNX YouTube channel. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. You can follow me at SPetersHockey. Thanks again for this special edition of Walkin and Talkin', where we were just sitting and chatting, and we'll see you next time.